Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. It is Monday, July the 23rd, 2018, and if you enjoyed tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, then you are not going to enjoy tonight's episode of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's official Monday Night Raw review, because we are about to drop the hammer down on all of the events that went down tonight, right here and right now, on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and the original Podbean, baby. It's the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show! Let's do it! Because I'm kind of pissed. Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Nick Nightmare. Along with me, as always, is my trusted tag team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the Hammer of Reason and Reality. He is here to rain down justice on the world of professional wrestling, along with his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball Microphone. Welcome to the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's roasting of Monday Night Raw. How can you take 3 hours of Monday Night Raw tonight, which was essentially a 3-hour commercial for a poorly named all-women's pay-per-view? Now, before you get your panties in a bunch, let's get your facts straight before anybody wants to start throwing some fucking hate my way. 1 week ago, I dropped a video on this channel where I heard the news that there was going to be an all-women's pay-per-view. I am 100% behind the process of thought that has been, put behind this whole thing. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make up for the girls not being at the greatest Royal Rumble. They're trying to do first time evers, make this big special thing, trying to push the whole women's revolution, evolution. They want to push it so hard that they're going to make it the name of the pay-per-view. WWE Evolution. I'm sorry, Evolution is a faction, not a pay-per-view. What are we going to call the next pay-per-view? Four Horsemen? We're going to call the next women's pay-per-view D-Generation X? Why don't we just call the next pay-per-view New World Order and not even have Hulk Hogan on the show? Evolution? I proposed the idea 1 week ago that this event could have been epic. They could have made it one of the most important things to view of the year if they would have made it a Queen of the Ring event. What better way to stamp an approval or to make your mark as a women's division than to crown the first ever true Queen of the Ring in the WWE? How much bigger could you get than that? What are we going to get now? We're going to get a pay-per-view full of matches that are going to have no story behind them, no build, and not going to mean a goddamn thing. What are you going to do? Interpromotional things? We're going to see girls from NXT versus girls from Raw. We're going to see Ember Moon maybe versus Asuka. That might be a thing. You got Sasha Banks and Bayley reuniting tonight in the face of this whole thing. How does that make sense? That's the match you would want to have most at that pay-per-view. It's the match that truly started this whole women's revolution. It's been the best women's wrestling match that has ever taken place inside a WWE ring. And now they're just hugging it out on Monday Night Raw. Nobody sees anything wrong with that. This has got tag team division written all over it. The only reason for them to start this thing so many times and to be in the middle of a therapy session that went absolutely nowhere, but apparently it worked because the girls are back on the same page. For what reason? For what reason? Because they need girls that will be logical teams when they announce the women's tag team titles, which will be debuting at Evolution, I guarantee you. They didn't announce it tonight. They didn't want to overwhelm you guys. Not that they didn't already. Every single person tonight that was on TV talked about this show. I heard about it so much tonight, I don't want to hear about it again until October comes around. And you know we're going to hear about this shit week after week after week. And my problem with it is not the event. My problem is that they failed the girls already by not giving it as much of an importance as they could have put on it by making it a Queen of the Ring tournament. Really put the focus on each of the girls. Follow the mold of the Mae Young Classic. The Mae Young Classic's taking place in August. We did a little preview video on that. If you missed that, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. But that is going to outshine this Evolution pay-per-view already. I can tell you that right now. Why they wouldn't want to follow in that same mold is absolutely asinine to me. And then you have a gimmick to go with. You crown a Queen of the Ring. You give it to maybe Shayna Baszler, or you give it to Ronda Rousey. Then you make it a historic night. Have 2 championship matches. Or maybe have the unification of the 2 women's championships. And then you have the tag team titles debut. And then you have the Queen of the Ring tournament. Where is that wrong? How is that bad? How is that bad? I don't understand. I don't understand. Again, all in all, I'm not against it. But the way they gone about it, announcing it tonight, just absolutely made no sense. And what the hell is Vince McMahon even doing there? Explain that one to me. Why is Vince McMahon standing there for this announcement? I know it's his company, but legitimately, let's take a look at what was going on. Stephanie McMahon was pretty much spitting in his face throughout this whole thing, because all these barriers that they're breaking down, turning the Divas division into the Women's division, and having 30-second matches turn into 3 5-star classics, and blah, blah, blah. And then Triple H wants to come out with his proud dad speech and fake to cry and get all emotional because we're so proud of these girls because we've seen what the girls have in them. And Vince McMahon standing back there looking like he's got fucking jaundice, about to drop dead in the middle of the ring, as they're just pretty much roasting everything he's ever done, because he doesn't give a shit about the women's division. Why is he standing there? I felt like he felt like an idiot just being out there. He came out to introduce Stephanie and then stood there while she smacked him in the face like this for about 10 minutes. You ass. Look at what we did to your division because you're an ass. And we're making history, and you're turning yellow on national television. That's my problem with it. And the constant, all night, banging it in my head. Having Braun Strowman, your resident monster, putting over this thing and giving props to the women is wrong. It's wrong. It's not wrong because Braun Strowman shouldn't be supporting the women. He shouldn't be doing so on the show. He's a monster. He shouldn't give 2 shits about anything happening in the women's division. He shouldn't give a shit about his mixed match challenge partner Alexa Bliss and how she does at this next pay-per-view. Nobody should be giving a shit. Seth Rollins shouldn't give a shit. He should only be laser sight focused on the Intercontinental Championship and Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Why does he give a shit about the women's pay-per-view? Not that we didn't have to hear it from the announce team all night long. Just as bad as the Roman initiative is the women's initiative right now. Terrible. Oversaturated. Overdone. Overpromoted to the point where in one night I'm already sick of it. And I don't want to hear about it anymore. Elias all night long. Interrupted. One after another. That's just a clever ploy by the genius of marketing, Vince McMahon, to have the opportunity 4 times tonight to remind you to go get the album. Which, if you're a fan of Elias and you're going to get the album at all, you got it last night at midnight like I did. And like the rest of us who were even interested in this, we all had it before Monday Night Raw hit the airwaves, and now you used him. Instead of giving us a match or a decent segment with him to promote the album, you used him 4 times as a quick reminder to go download the album. That doesn't sit well with me. Having him interrupted and disrespected 4 times on the night, why would you want to go even get this guy's album if you're making him look like a jackass? I don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense. You know what else doesn't make any sense? The fact that 4 singles wrestlers, I don't care that they're the 4 top guys probably on the brand right now in Dolph, Drew, Seth, and Finn. These guys go out there tonight and do tag team wrestling better than the entire tag team division. They outshine the entire tag team division. Much like Impact Wrestling outshined Monday Night Raw tonight. If you were fortunate enough, I was not. I've only been reading about it all day long. That Slammiversary was supposedly 3 hours of the best wrestling you will see this year. And then you go and watch Monday Night Raw, which is supposed to be the premier broadcast in professional wrestling, and you get this. Makes you wonder. Just makes you wonder sometimes. Shiny Happy Finn. Right? We got him all night long. We got Shiny Happy Finn getting put in a doghouse by Constable Corbin. This is Monday Night Raw. A little plastic doghouse with his little rainbow t-shirt in it. And Smiley Happy Finn, the shiny happy person, he doesn't get mad. Nah, you can't get Finn Balor mad. There's not a demon in there. He don't have any soul left. There's no fight in Finn Balor. He's all smiles. They even made mention of his $1 million smile tonight. That's his gimmick now. He's Happy Finn. Happy to have a fucking doghouse. So happy that there's a picture on social media of him in the doghouse. 2 thumbs up, doing his fucking Finn Freeze face. And I want to punch him right in it. Because it's not Finn Balor. Why didn't he get mad? Baron Corbin got mad that Finn Balor thought it was great. He's like, oh great, I love my new fucking doghouse locker room. Thank you, Constable Dickhead. And he's just like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna get you. Like a classic 80s villain. You know, put him in a body bag. One of them. Go get him, Johnny. I'm gonna get you. Get the fuck out of here. What is this nonsense? What are we watching? Why are they doing this to us? Seeing the same matches over and over. It's just repeat, repeat, repeat. Rematch after rematch. And then they want to advertise next week where they're giving us 2 more rematches. They're just showing us the same show over and over again. We say it every week, but it's not my fault that I'm saying it. Because it's happening. You guys seen it happen tonight. How many matches tonight did we see once, maybe not twice already? Just like the Deleters of Worlds versus the B Team. We get another fluke-ass victory by the B Team. Only for the Deleters of Worlds to beat the shit out of them after the match. So now, their rematch, which they lost, they're going to get another rematch? I don't understand. What's the point? What's the point? The only intriguing thing about this whole thing is the Battle of the Brothers. And once that's a non-factor, I don't care. I don't care. The B Team even being the tag team champions when you got teams like the Revival and the Authors of Pain roaming around is an absolute joke. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt should be working with these guys. They should be putting over that team. Maybe the Revival is the wedge that gets driven between Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt and set that back off. And break them up and let them go on their way. Because as much as I was enjoying it, at this point, the WWE doesn't know how to book it. They don't know what to do. They are not creative enough to handle these guys. Which is why we're getting bullshit like this. And the B Team getting fluke victory after fluke victory instead of actually gaining an advantage and winning in a dominant fashion and gaining prestige to the tag team champion. If you were going to take the B Team and do this with them, and you take all the comedy bullshit out that you're doing with them, like, I don't mind some of the one-liners and the funny skits you're doing in the back, but if they went out there and wrestled seriously, we said the same things about the Fashion Police. You know, it's alright to have all fun and games and to be all jokey and stuff in the back and have some charisma and have a little fun. That's all okay. But when you get in the ring, you're supposed to win because you're good. The B stands for best, right? You're supposed to be the best. So let them actually wrestle. Let them win for real. Why do they have to win like a joke? Why do you have to promote them like they're 2 assholes so that guys like me don't give a shit when the B Team wins a World Tag Team Championship? And are apparently going to defend them and hold them all the way up until SummerSlam. You killed the B Team before they even got started because you're not taking anything seriously. Nothing at all. No, but you want to announce this woman's pay-per-view. That's the thing you're taking the most seriously. And you thought about it so well that you couldn't even come up with an original fucking name for it. How fast did you throw this thing together? October 28th in the Nassau Coliseum. You didn't even get a decent venue. You didn't even give that to Madison Square Garden. No wonder they're getting Ring of Honor now. What are you, fucking brain dead? Why didn't you hit up Madison Square Garden for that? You can have the first ever all-women's pay-per-view in the world's most famous arena. But no, you're going to the Nassau Coliseum, and then you want to wonder why Madison Square Garden just put their dick in your mouth and said, here, suck on this while we get Cody Rhodes and the Bullet Club and friends to come and play while WrestleMania's in town this year. Are you out of your mind? Absolute bullshit. Bayley and Sasha Banks hugging it out. We talked about that already. Elias interrupted again. And then we have Braun Strowman coming out. He's talking about how the girls are great and everything's so great for the women. And he's proud of Alexa Bliss. Who gives a shit? Raw finally got interesting with the arrival of Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens returns and he says Braun Strowman has taken everything. Taking everything from him. His children are scared. They can't look at him anymore and see him as an indestructible force. They can't even watch him walk down the stairs because their poor dad's in pain. Most importantly, he tried to take away his ability to provide for his family. And now he wants to take everything from Braun Strowman. This was very interesting. Until Constable Dickhead comes out once again and has to ruin the party because he brings with him Jinder Mahal. Now, this whole segment is a glaring example to the whole entire world of why the WWE is complete fucking asinines. They're full of asinine creative people that overwrite this show and don't truly understand the characters that they are writing for. Because if Jinder Mahal came out and got out even one sentence, you failed. As soon as Jinder came out and held the mic to his thing to talk and turned around, he should have got hit with these hands. He should have never even uttered a single phrase. That's what Braun Strowman would have done. Braun Strowman wouldn't have let him go on and on and on. He may even have let him begin his promo, but he would have leveled him mid-shanty. Soon as he said, Shanti, next thing you would have seen was Braun Strowman's hands around his throat and he'd be killing Jinder Mahal. But instead, we get a retort. We get a response, a vocal response. Braun Strowman's got to have charisma now. Braun Strowman's going to tell a story and he's going to breathe out his nose and he's going to go, get these hands. This whole overdone, overwritten segment. They don't even understand what they have. Braun Strowman should have just attacked straight out. Too much bullshit. You're ruining everything. You ruined him enough by having him break the monster facade by putting over your agenda for the women. And now you made him look like an idiot because he's going to play with Jinder Mahal. When have we seen Braun Strowman playing around? This is the guy throwing Kane into the back of garbage trucks and shit. Flipping Roman Reigns and stretchers off of the top of parking garages. Flipping ambulances over. Now he's playing Shanti with Jinder Mahal. This is okay with you? Told you weren't going to like it. You were not going to like this show if you enjoyed Raw tonight. What a fucking joke it turned out to be. He should have just annihilated him. No two bones about it. More about the women's pay-per-view. They had to re-show that package 2-3 times before this night is over. I'll be saying that sentence again. We had a useless matchup between Mickie James and Natalya. Why it's taking place? Because Alexa Bliss doesn't like to wrestle. Why else? I don't understand the need for this match. The feud is between Alexa and Nia, not between Mickie and Natty. If you wanted to have Alexa versus Natty, fine. But why are we seeing this match? I barely paid attention because it meant nothing. There was nothing at stake. There's no real story behind it. This is a sidebar to a story that I'm really not even interested in the first place, so I could do without it. So I barely did. I barely even watched it. All I know is that Mickie James won. Alexa Bliss was on the floor on the outside because she tried to get involved, which I guess she did, and got flattened for it somehow. I don't know, because I don't care. They don't make me care. They don't make me care enough to watch. Even though my favorite woman that has come up in the last few years, which is Alexa Bliss, unfortunately, is part of it, I could care less about it. Whose fault is that? The Evolution! It's the Evolution in full swing! It's working perfectly! Roman Reigns, we have to see him accepting some fucking humanitarian award. And then after this segment, we come into an interview with him and Charlie Caruso in the back. And this guy's clearly delusional. All right, he wants to go off and say that he's the most decorated wrestler in the modern generation. Is he out of his fucking mind? Does he not really acknowledge what's going on outside of the WWE? And even if he does only acknowledge within the WWE, I think there's another guy that might be standing right here over my right shoulder that might have something to say about being a little bit more decorated than you, pal. All right? Calm down. You may be in more main events, but your decorations are only Vince McMahon's balls hanging off your chin. Elias, again, comes out trying to do his thing. And we have the Authors of Pain. The Authors of Pain are alive. They're back on the show. And instead of doing what you should do with the Authors of Pain, which is just have them come out and have a match, they come out and talk. This is a tag team that needs a manager. I'm available, by the way. If you want to hire me, I will be very happy to follow in Paul Ellering's footsteps and manage the Authors of Pain because they need a manager. They are not microphone ready. They shouldn't be on the microphone. They're too big. They're too powerful. Them speaking takes the aura away from how terrifying this team actually is. And by them coming out there and saying, we're tired of having bullshit competition, I was okay with. He says, anyone except for Titus Worldwide. And then, of course, because Raw hates everybody in the world, Titus Worldwide comes out, much to the chagrin of the Authors of Pain. And then we get this 20-minute fucking violin swan song about how great Titus O'Neil is. You got Apollo Crews pretty much sitting there doing this to the guy. Oh, let me tell you something about Titus. He's the best, man. And he was like a dad, man. And he's like the father of the year for a reason, man. And you got Dana Brooke walking outside like a giant human sausage trying to fucking stay in her clothes because everything's trying to come out on its own because her body's probably alive. And in its own sentience, not obviously her body is alive, but I mean like her body's alive outside of her own consciousness. Never mind, I don't want to talk about Dana Brooke. She's not important. Barely made it to the ring. Looked like she was going to tumble down like a bowl full of Jell-O. You kidding me? All for this to break down into a brawl. Then you have Titus Worldwide get the advantage, making the Authors of Pain look even more stupid. What a failure. What another failure. And another clear example of how Vince just doesn't know what he has with the toys he has to play with. It's clear as day what to do with the Authors of Pain. You make them kill people. It's what worked in NXT. You put the Authors of Pain and the Revival in the ring, you're going to have 5-star tag team matchups. Instead, we're getting the Deleters of Worlds and the B-Team. And we're getting the Authors of Pain and Titus Worldwide again. Because they don't know how to do anything new. It's just repeat, repeat, repeat. Awful. Stephanie McMahon and Kurt Angle are in the back. Stephanie McMahon's about to leave, thank God. As soon as she left, I knew they weren't going to announce the women's tag team titles because she would have to do the announcement. You know, nobody else would be able to make that announcement. So I was grateful for that. Even though it's coming, you can count on it. But before she leaves, Kevin Owens comes in. He tells Kurt Angle he wants Braun Strowman's Money in the Bank contract to be up for grabs in a match that he wants with him at SummerSlam. Kurt Angle's like, are you crazy? I'm not going to do that. Stephanie McMahon's like, you know what? I like it. You got your match. Totally going over Kurt Angle's head. Next thing you know, Baron Corbin and I'm sorry. Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens are hugging it out. Like Bayley and Sasha Banks. Everybody's hugging tonight. Nobody's fighting. Everybody's hugging. Too much love in the air from all the women's announcements, I guess. Call me a sexist, I'll knock you out, because it ain't about that. You know it. Mojo Rawley versus Tyler Breeze. Again, repeat match. The only reason we had this match is to have a promo for Bobby Roode, I guess. This guy comes out smiling like a glorious idiot. The inglorious bastard just sitting there smiling like awkwardly. Like, maybe Vince is sitting there, smile! You gotta smile! You're a babyface, you bastard! Smile! It was the most uncomfortable smile, like, okay, I'm smiling. Okay, and then he kind of tries to get mean towards the end of it, talking about Mojo Rawley, who's been talking shit about Bobby Roode. Doesn't matter, because Bobby Roode's been shit lately. You got Mojo Rawley as the heel in this scenario versus Bobby Roode as the babyface. Nobody's going to give a shit. Because let me tell you something, nobody cares about Bozo Rawley. That's exactly what he is. He's a goddamn bozo. It's worthless. Worthless. Tyler Breeze could wrestle circles around Mojo Rawley. Tyler Breeze could wrestle Dolph Ziggler in an Iron Man match and probably do better than Seth Rollins. I'm putting it right out there. And this guy's jobbing out to Ramojo, says Michael Cole. Ramojo Rawley. Idiot. Got a nice little promo from Ziggler and McIntyre. Their plan is to take over. Seth Rollins tried and failed to stop them. Drew McIntyre then made note of last week. He did not lose in that triple threat match. It was Finn Balor that lost to Roman Reigns in the number one contenders triple threat match to get to Bobby Lashley, as it were. Roman Reigns ended up winning that match. And then we would have Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor, which was a fucking great match. Finally! Finally, something worth talking about. It was beautiful. They have a great chemistry together. You can see that working together in NXT definitely benefited them. They had a great chemistry with one another. Drew McIntyre is a physical specimen that if I could be anybody on the roster, I think I would choose him to be, other than myself, because he is absolutely, like they used to say about Randy Orton, if you wanted to build a pro wrestler, I would build him to look like Drew McIntyre. The guy is an absolute beast. He's fucking fantastic. And tonight with Finn Balor was no exception. Finn Balor looked fantastic. They were doing a great job until Dolph Ziggler would get Drew McIntyre disqualified. As Finn Balor was perched atop the turnbuckle getting ready to deliver a coup de grace, Dolph Ziggler would trip him off. The referee seen the whole thing and called the match. Until Kurt Angle came out and says what we all knew he was going to say. We're going to restart this match as a tag team match. And then we got a fucking great tag team match, as I mentioned before. 4 singles wrestlers going out there and out tag wrestling the entire tag team division in the WWE. This was a great match. It was a lot of fun. The crowd got into it. I don't like the fact that Ziggler and McIntyre keep losing, but I have a feeling that that is going to be a key component when this team finally dissolves, because Drew McIntyre is going to be standing there, hey, listen, I'm not the guy getting my shoulders pinned to the mat. It's you, you limey bastard. And then we're going to have them absolutely destruct from the inside. And I don't mind it so much. As long as Drew don't start losing, I won't have too much of a problem with it. This was a great match. It was the best moment of the night. The entire thing. Anything involving McIntyre, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins was absolutely fantastic. And Dolph Ziggler as well. Great segment. The only reason to go and rewatch Raw would be to see that. Because after that, we got Robo Bobby Trashley talking about how Brock Lesnar is going to lose to him at the Universal Championship. Do you give a shit what Bobby Lashley has to say? The guy's a human sweat machine. I think he sweated more than he wrestled in tonight's main event. We'll get to that a little bit later. Again, we replay the Stephanie McMahon announcement right after that, leading into an Ember Moon versus Liv Morgan rematch. Repeat again. This time, we don't have girl Braun standing out there alongside Little Miss Trenchmouth to give her an advantage over Ember Moon. And as you would expect, Ember Moon hits an eclipse in what is easily not Ember Moon's best match because her opponent is lazy and sloppy. I've said it. I don't care. I put it right out there. The hammer comes right the fuck down. That's the end of it. I love Ember Moon. Having her wrestle these idiots is doing her no justice. Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, not on Ember Moon's level. Ruby Riott definitely is, but she doesn't need to continue feuding with a lackluster Riott Squad without their leader. Because without them, without Ruby, they're worthless. And even with Ruby, they're worthless because Ruby's the star. Ruby's the one with the potential. Ruby's the one that can wrestle. That's why she's the one that's hurt. Because she actually works. Imagine that. You got Seth Rollins coming out, putting over the women's pay-per-view again. And apparently Kurt Angle gives Seth Rollins an Intercontinental Championship rematch at SummerSlam. Good for him. Why are we getting this match again? I thought at least it would have progressed on to Drew McIntyre by now. I thought Seth Rollins would have regained the title from Ziggler, and that we were going to have McIntyre versus Rollins at SummerSlam, where McIntyre could take it from Seth at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. I thought that would have been the way they're going with it. But instead, we're going with Ziggler all the way to SummerSlam against the best in the business, the Architect right now. You think he's walking out without the championship? I don't think so. I think he's going to win at SummerSlam. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. That's neither here nor there. Then we had that ridiculously over-the-top pre-match promo for Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns, making it look like the most epic encounter you will ever see in your life. And let me just bring something to your attention right now. No matter how many times you say it, just because you say it 100 times does not make it true. Bobby Lashley was never in a WrestleMania main event. Never. Mark it down, because it never happened. He was in plenty of WrestleManias. In a main event? No. In a marquee match? A marquee match. Yes, not a main event match. Let's be fair. Hammer down, motherfucker. No matter what, the whole promo was just too much overbloated bullshit for me. The epic music in the background, the close-ups and the slow-mos, trying to make the last 2 months of my life look like something special, and it just more garbage from Monday Night Raw. Elias again comes out. Only this time, and get this is how stupid Raw's creative team is. The line that Kurt Angle comes out and says, I'm not going to come out and interrupt you, but I'm here to interrupt you. To tell him that he came out to interrupt him to tell him I'm not going to interrupt you. You got that, right? He came out and interrupted the segment to say, listen, I'm not here to interrupt you, while he's interrupting him. Then said, you're going to have the floor, you're going to have your time, you're going to sing your song. Elias then did his thing. I just had to tell you guys that because somebody wrote that. And if they didn't write that, and he just said that, then Kurt Angle is really losing his 3 eyes, if you know what I mean. Elias gets the floor. He gets to play a little bit of a song off of his EP. Now, listen, I'm calling it an EP because that's what it is. It's not an album. Alright, you're going to call it an album, it's got to have more than 4 songs. I'm one of the people that downloaded his album as soon as it dropped last night. I was excited for an album, and I got 4 songs. 4 songs does not make an album. 4 songs is called an EP, or a demo. Be honest. Or at least call it a single with a B-side, or 2. Jesus. 4 songs? That being said, they're awesome. All 4 of the songs are very, very funny. They are not to be taken seriously. They are all written in comedic fashion, and it's absolutely fantastic. He wants to waste time talking to these OAR jerk-offs in the first row. I don't know what an OAR is. I know the word, if you pronounce it, says oar. I don't have a canoe. I don't go down rivers, and I don't use oars. So I don't give a shit about this band. I don't know the song that they were referencing. Good for them that they're part of Connor's Cure. That's a great cause. I hope to do something for them myself one day. Good for them. Wasting time during Elias' segment? Absolutely. I really didn't care too much about the rest of it. Elias got his song started. He then stopped it, said he wasn't feeling the vibe, and then got interrupted by Robo Bobby Lashley coming out, boring trashly, for his match with the big dog. Which was more of a match to see who could sweat more. Contestant A or B. By the end of this thing, Bobby Lashley was dripping like a faucet. Roman Reigns was wet like he just got out of the shower. What the hell were they sweating so much for? They didn't really do all that much. It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't their worst match that they've had. It was actually the better of the matches that we've seen them involved in thus far. But maybe if I gave a shit, I could rate it a little bit higher. And then last week I said to you guys when this was announced that I predicted a no contest finish and that we were going to get the triple threat main event at SummerSlam. I said this last week on the Monday Night Raw review. And now I'm actually wishing that that's what happened, because at the very least it would have been different. Instead, we're going down this very same road that we have been down 3-4 fucking times already, with Roman going one-on-one versus Brock Lesnar as of tonight, when Roman Reigns defeated Bobby Lashley. During the matchup, though, there was one very scary spot where Roman Reigns was thrown back into the ring through the first and second ropes by Bobby Lashley, and he kind of landed on his neck and looked like he definitely ticked it, and then seemed to have been a little bit weird after that. Now, I don't know if I was just looking too much into it. I don't know if it's like wishful thinking in the back of my brain. Not that I want anybody to be hurt, but I know how bad this is, and this would be the perfect time for storyline-wise for him to go down with an injury. But nobody wants that to be the case, and the fall itself did not look too good to me, and I was concerned right off the get-go. It was a pretty bad spot. Like I said, the match wasn't that bad, but I don't care. I don't give a shit. If this was maybe the first match in the series, maybe I would have got a little bit more hyped. Maybe not, because it's still, at the end of the day, it's just Roman and Bobby. And nobody gives a shit about either one of them. And the fact that he's still going with this, I just don't understand it. Vince McMahon is legitimately insane. When you do the same thing over and over and expect a different result, I've said this multiple times on this show, that is the definition of insanity, and Monday Night Raw, by that definition, is absolutely insane. And so is Vince McMahon. Next week in Miami, Monday Night Raw is going to return to us just like Brock Lesnar. I don't give a shit. Brock Lesnar's coming back. Who cares? He's not going to wrestle. He's going to come out. Paul Heyman's going to say some shit. Somebody's going to come out and get in his face. Nothing's going to happen. If anything, Brock's going to come out next week. That's how Bobby Lashley's going to find his way into this main event match at SummerSlam, still making it a triple threat, because I really believe that's what's going to happen. We got Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre one-on-one again next week, and we're going to have Finn Balor versus Constable Dickhead again. Fantastic. You want to throw in Liv Morgan versus Ember Moon again? Maybe we'll do it with Sarah Logan again, just to change it up a little, even though we still saw that already as well. That's going to do it for tonight, you guys. I'm tapped out because this show was absolutely fucking ridiculous. The women's agenda made me absolutely nauseous. It was just too much. They absolutely failed the girls with the setup of this pay-per-view already. I am not really looking forward to it. There's a part of me that maybe wants to get tickets just to be part of the history of it. But the pompous, arrogant way they go about announcing these things just makes me really disinterested. So that's it. That's it for Monday Night Raw. We got a whole lot more for you guys on this channel. I had a very interesting weekend. I was laid up in the hospital for about 36 out of 48 hours over a 3-day period, and it was not any type of fun, but I've been all electrolyted up, and I am back in business in a big way. I even got a video up in the interim of that madness that I was going through, and that was the Mae Young Classic preview special, where I announced the first 10 contestants that have been confirmed by the WWE in a very special look at them. Go check it out if you missed it, because it's one of the best videos I have ever done, with a very intriguing and different style that you are not used to, and I want to know what you guys think and if you want to see more of things like that. So go check out the Mae Young Classic preview special right now. We also dropped during Monday Night Raw tonight, because it was so fucking boring. I actually had time, since it finally finished rendering, to drop the subscription box showdown July edition. Come see who walks away with that beautiful championship belt this month, That Wrestling Club or WrestleCrate USA. Both of them brought a really good game. Which one of them walked away champ? You're going to have to check it out for yourself and see. Don't forget all that and everything else you might have missed on the channel. It is there for you, from past Raw and SmackDown reviews to the Extreme Rules reviews and everything else that we got going on. House of Glory, subscription box showdowns, and we probably got some Hammer in Hollywood coming your way, because let me tell you something. I saw that Teen Titans preview, the Teen Titans trailer, and I'm really upset about it. And there's a lot that I would like to say about it. So if you're interested in hearing what I want to say about the Teen Titans movie trailer, make sure you hit me up in the comments, and I will make sure to get that video to you guys sooner rather than later. Because now we're back at 100% and we're running on all cylinders and we're bringing the hammer down full force, non-stop. Because nothing can stop Nick Nightmare. And this channel will be unstoppable forever. I don't know what else to say. I'm overhyping myself. I'm trying to be like a Raw writer. You see that? I'm overwriting my show. When I should just be telling you guys that my name is Nick Nightmare. This is Thor the Sledgehammer, the hammer of reason and reality, the wrestling god of thunder, and my little buddy, my most trusted companion in the world. I would never sound this fabulous without him, Mr. Blue the Snowball Microphone. This has been the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review for July the 23rd. First ever historic Women's Night. Thank you guys for being here. As always, do not forget to take part in the SummerSlam extravaganza we got going on leading up into SummerSlam. Be one of the hundreds that are subscribing right now during the SummerSlam Spectacular. And then once you do, make sure you pick up one of the two beautiful t-shirts that you have to choose from, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show logo tee or the Sledgehammer Club black t-shirt, which you will guys see on the outro, on the way out. Make sure you do all that for me. Like this video, smash that thumbs up, slash it if you want to slash it, but I'd rather you smash it with your own sledgehammers at home. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share this video with all of your wrestling buddies all over this beautiful wrestling world, especially if they thought tonight's Monday Night Raw was completely full of shit, just like I thought. So, that being said, my friends, that is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you tomorrow night for SmackDown Live right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Have a good one.